How far did you get with your education?
I graduated at Banneker 2017. I had a scholarship for basketball, but it was for a Division III school called Carver, but I didn't take it. I went to the military instead.
And why that decision-making there?
Because I said if I was going to play basketball, I was going to play D1, and I was supposed to went to Hampton, but some personal stuff happened between, you know, my cousin and some scholarship money. So I just said bump the whole thing, and Air Force I went.
Is that something you can explain a little bit more in detail?
So basically my cousin was married to the track coach. The track coach was going to give me a scholarship, and then I was going to get referred to play basketball there. But what happened was they ended up breaking up right before I was supposed to enroll there. So it is what it is.
And that was at Hampton?
Yes, Hampton University.
Which is D1?
Yes.
And the breakup, how close did that happen to you actually attending?
Well, I won't say that it affected it per se, but I didn't feel comfortable asking him to do that or to go out of his way after he had no relation with my cousin. So it was no point, you know, at that moment, he was just a mere stranger at that point.
Well, I guess, let me rephrase my question. How far was the breakup from when you would have attended Hampton, if you were able to attend Hampton?
It was June 2017. I was supposed to went there August 2017.
Now, what schools did you attend growing up? Elementary, middle, high school?
I got you. I went to Love T. Nolan. Then after that, I went to Bethune. Finished from 1st through 5th. Finished out everything there. Middle school, I went to McNair, the shittiest school I've ever been to. Then after that, I went to Banneker, Creekside, and then I went back to Banneker and graduated. And I did a backflip at graduation.
You got video of it?
Yes.
Why was that and I'm not going to cuss here, but why was that one particular school you mentioned so bad?
Oh, McNair? Oh, hell no. I got in 32 fights in middle school. And I literally did not get expelled. I didn't start in none of them. I just got picked on. I was 4'9" going into middle school, and I was 5'3" going into high school. So I was between 4'9" and 5'3". So everybody used to just pick on me as this little skinny ass nigga. So, you know, people just walk up to me and they was like, well, if he beat his ass, I'll beat his ass too. And I took some L's, and then I started winning. Then in high school, I started growing, so they stopped fucking with me. Then I started hooping, and everybody started fucking with me, and, you know, want a buddy type thing.
Looking back, what could the school have done to help you out?
Which school?
McNair.
McNair taught me not to trust nobody, if anything. Yeah, taught me not to trust nobody.
Well, I guess what I'm asking here is, you said that McNair, I don't, pronounce it for me one more time, I'm sorry.
McNair Middle, like Ronald McNair.
Okay, McNair.
Yeah.
You said this particular school was really bad.
Yeah.
What could they have done to have been better for you, or to you?
Honestly, I think I went through what I went through for a reason, because even though McNair was a shitty school, when I went there, or at least my experience at McNair was shitty. I won't say it's a shitty school, but my experience was shitty. Even though my experience was shitty, it helped me shape my personality right now, because they was picking on me so much then, I could give a fuck whether somebody picks on me now or not. I'm a troll. You got a trash can?
I don't.
Damn. Can I use that trash bag?
No.
Damn.
Now, these were public schools?
Yes. Public schools.
What kind of kid were you in class, overall speaking? How would you describe yourself?
It was a mixture. It depended on the environment. Some of them, I was trying to be a class clown, I guess, because I wanted to fit in, because nobody liked me. You know, sometimes I was funny, sometimes I wasn't. But then some people literally just went out of their way to try to fight me for no reason. So, you know, I was kind of that outsider, you know, who was trying to fit in. But then when I hit high school, I didn't care about fitting in.
When it came to teasing, when it came to bullying, is that how you would describe it?
Yes.
Was this by other males? Was this by females?
Both.
Which one more?
Males, for sure.
You mentioned fights.
Yes.
32 fights, was that the exact number or is that an exaggeration?
That's the exact number. Excuse me.
What was the bottom point with your teasing and bullying?
Honestly, I attempted suicide a few times. I had a real close friend of me who I told him, you know, he'd be my bestest friend for life if he took my life right now. But he decided not to, and me and he was like, I'm gonna be your friend, saying that you don't have any friends, and me and him was tight up until sophomore year. Like, he was like my inseparable friend.
What happened?
He passed away.
How?
He had a brain tumor. His name was Robert Ruffin.
What did you do after that?
I cried. I don't usually cry ever because I really don't be caring, but I definitely cried. I actually talked to his mom not too long ago, and me and her sat on the phone and cried, and I plan on getting a tattoo of his name on me somewhere because he's the reason why I'm not dead right now.
Were you aware of his brain tumor before this happened, or was this a shock?
The death was definitely a shock because me and him used to talk on the phone all the time, and what happened? We would talk on the phone all the time, and he had told me that something had happened medically with his brain. He would be like, yeah, I had a brain tumor, and I was like, oh my God, are you all right? And then he was like, yeah, I'm good. So I would take his word for it, like, okay, I guess he's good. And one day he just wasn't.
Had no idea this was going to happen or happening.
Nope, he died, and his funeral was on my birthday.
He didn't show any signs of illness prior to?
Nope, he was just happy. Like, me and him was just happy, like, always happy.
Do you remember your last conversation with him before he passed?
We was talking about basketball for sure, and he was like, you was definitely gonna make it. And I told him I called him because I told him I wanted him to push up to Banneker versus Creekside, which was like a rivalry type thing back in 2014 to 2016. And I wanted him to come, you know what I'm saying, and see me cook him. But, you know, then I ended up getting transferred to Creekside, rezoned, I'm sorry. I ended up getting rezoned to Creekside. And I tried to call him and let him know that I was coming, but I didn't know that he had died. He had passed away. Funeral was on my birthday, and I didn't even know he died until 2 weeks after my birthday.
How'd you find out?
Instagram. Instagram was just coming up, and a friend of mine posted it, somebody I know, and then I didn't believe it, and I always knew his mom's number by heart to contact him because he didn't have his own phone. Even to this day, I still know her number. And she had told me, and she said, yeah, well, Robert passed away. Excuse me.
Now, you mentioned that you became a troll at some point.
Yes. Basically, when I turned into savage mode, like, right after the military, because before I went to the military, my self-confidence was kind of low. You know, I wasn't getting no women, you know what I'm saying? People wasn't looking at me with a certain level of respect, you know, and I realized it because I hadn't started my life yet. So when I went to the military, went to the Air Force, you know, that whole aura changed me, you know what I'm saying? Like, it changed my whole self-confidence and how I think about myself. And I value myself a lot more because of my time in the military.
Now, my question to you initially was going to be, because you were teased and you were bullied, did you ever become a bully yourself? You use the word troll here. So
Yes.
Does that mean you did become a bully at some point? Or is troll and bully two separate entities?
Two separate things. It depends on how you troll, though. Because, see, trolling yourself towards others and then trolling somebody else is two different things. Me, I troll myself towards others. You know what I'm saying? Like, whenever I eat chicken on live, or hell, whenever I eat chicken in general, like, people just be looking at me and they just either look at me with disgust or they just laugh. But either way it goes, they look and it's like a train wreck. It's like, it's damn, I don't want to look at it, but I can't stop looking at it. Or whenever I'm taking a shit or something, you know what I'm saying? Like when I went viral and shit. You know, like, people couldn't help but look at it, but couldn't stop looking at it. I'm just a troll, and I don't care that I'm a troll because I'm gonna be me regardless, and there's not nobody like me in my eyes.
You're referring to the Druski
Yeah.
clip?
Yeah.
Can you explain that?
So this is the thing, right? Whenever I make music, my album was gonna be named Constipated Thoughts way before the whole Druski thing. So anybody who knows me knows that whenever I write music or whenever I make music or produce beats or whatever, I'm usually on the toilet. You know what I'm saying? Turd 808, turd snare, turd hi-hat, turd open hat. You get the point, you know what I'm saying? Lyric, punchline, hook, turd, shit music, basically. So he actually invited me in the live while I was taking the shit. So I see the damn loading bar joint while I'm watching his live, and I'm like, oh shit. So I hurried up, got my ass up, and you ain't got but like 3 seconds to respond to it. So I got up, set my phone up, he accepted the live, we chopping it up, everything cool or whatever. And I started doing the Chicken Man song, and I'm going in and he fucking with it, you know what I'm saying? Like, talking bad about my chicken, girl, you better watch your tone, cause I'm a real jigger and I eat it off the bone, Don't even come my way unless you plan to bring some more, but if you ain't bringing no chicken, bro, you better leave me alone, so. And next thing you know, we was talking and he asked me how tall I was or something like that. Something around my height had came up and I was like, I'm 6'4". And he was like, I don't believe you. And then he told me hold the phone up, but I had totally forgot that I was taking a massive bomb ass shit right next to me. And when I held the phone up, he caught a glimpse of that toilet and internet took off.
And in that clip, he actually cuts you off after he sees it and, talks to the camera himself about what he had just seen.
Yeah, he said, he said, what the fuck is in the toilet? And I forgot it was there. So I was surprised, like, what? Like, what is you talking about? And then I looked in there as I set my phone down and I said, oh, shit. And I had already knew some shit was finna pop off because 50,000 people was watching that motherfucker. And I set the phone down, he kicked me out the live. I wasn't even gonna say nothing else. I was just gonna I was gonna leave the live, but he had kicked me out first. Cause I was like, damn, that's a hell. And then he told me I dropped the Cooper in there, but he don't know that my government name is Cooper, but after that, everybody just started reposting me like on some crazy shit, like just talking hella trash, calling me poo shitty and it's shitty season and chicken man shitty and shitty chicken. I mean, the jokes go on and on. It was hilarious to me. I just laughed about it.
And he was referring to the phrase coop because you had mentioned chicken in the conversation between you two.
Yeah, and people call me Chicken Coop. Like, that's another nickname of mine because my name is Cooper, like my government.
And for time reference, it's March 2021.
Uh-huh.
And if people do want to see that clip of what transpired between you and Druski, it's on Druski's page.
Yeah, it's right on his front page.
On his Instagram page.
It's the first page. He ain't posted nothing since. So it's still on there as we speak.
And it's a montage of videos that he went on Instagram Live with. So he went on Instagram Live with other people aside from you.
Yes.
But in his montage that's posted on his Instagram currently, you're actually the first clip out of maybe 5 or 6 people that he did that montage of Instagram Lives with that night.
Yes.
Did you know Druski or have a relationship with him prior to this?
No. I know one of his friends that I met when I was performing at Sephora, one of his close friends, but other than that, no, I've never met him.
So he does an Instagram Live and you randomly catch this Instagram Live?
50,000 people watch his live on a typical whenever he goes live. So when I was taking the shit, he just accepted the motherfucker. Like, oh, I had put the live in like way before I was in the bathroom.
No, but I guess what I'm asking is some people will schedule an Instagram Live. They're going to tell people publicly, hey, I'm going to be on Instagram Live at 8 o'clock tonight, tune in. And some people just randomly jump on Instagram Live. Was this a scheduled Instagram Live? Did you know he was going to be on Instagram Live at the time? Or you just so happened to see his Instagram Live on his feed, on your feed, so you just jump in and see what's going on?
I was taking the shit and I just happened to see it. I didn't know he was going to go live prior to.
So he goes live, and is he asking people to request to go live with him?
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you choose to do so.
Yes.
Had no idea he was going to pick you.
No, at all. Because I'm like, shit, it's 50,000 people, at least a ratio 10,000 of them trying to join. What makes you think he's going to pick Amante, you know? But he did for sure, and I'm not going to lie. He helped grow my fan base. He helped grow my followers. Like, you know, it definitely helped me out. Even though people laughed at me or whatever, I've been laughed at my whole life. I laugh, too. Whenever people joke about me, I don't even take it personal. I just laugh, too. You know?
Do you feel like he was picking on you?
Shit, whether he was or not, shit, I got my numbers, like, I got my streams up, I got my fan base up, like my supporters went up, like, so whether he was making fun of me or not, like, I still have to thank him for it. I got paid to make a track about that I'm actually releasing tomorrow called Booty Stank.
How much did you get paid?
About $250, easy.
That's a feature request?
A feature request? No. Just me, like, making a beat, going to the studio, recording on the song.
No, but somebody paid you to do that?
Yes.
Oh, so you weren't, it wasn't a paid feature of you?
It was just me. Like, somebody just, bro, listen, make a track about it. Make a song about it. Cool. And this the thing. In middle school, I was a troll but didn't know it because I made a song called Booty Stank, but I was really just playing around on YouTube, you know, on some funny shit. And I didn't know that song was 10 years before its time. So I took that and put it in the new song, like the song that I made a few days ago. So
I'm a little confused, so just clear something up. Somebody just pays you just to make a song, and then you give them the rights to do anything with that song?
No, I still have the rights. Okay, let me explain it. All right, so this person, I'm not gonna put him out there, but this person, he been wanted me to make that track, because he said, bro, this would be a track that'll go on TikTok or something like that. Even though it's old, you could, you know what I'm saying, modernize it and make it sound good. I told him I wasn't gonna do that because I didn't want to give off that persona of talking about shit. You know what I'm saying? But when the whole Druski thing happened, I damn near ain't have a choice. You know what I'm saying? People decide they want to see some shit. Okay, shit, I'm gonna show you some shit. I'm gonna make a song about some shit, you know? You know, my Bubba Guts asking what we got in store, shitting on IG4K Polaroid. You know what I'm saying?
I guess I just was a little confused because I've never heard of something of that nature. I mean, I've heard of an artist getting a feature request and paid to be featured on a song or to do a verse for somebody, but not just to make a whole full song and just...
Yeah, he just told me, I've been wanting you to do that for a while since you started doing music. Because I just started doing music in October.
So you make this song, then what does he get out of it?
I give him a percentage. I give him a share. I give him a quarter of the, what's his name? Because he's promoting it just as much as I am.
Okay.
And I also put Druski's name on there. And whenever he responds back to me, I'm probably going to give him 50% of the whole share. So the other one the dude to get a quarter, Druski will get 50, and then I'll just take the other 25. Because honestly, I'm not relying on my career based on that track. But at the same time, it is kind of funny. You know what I'm saying? Someone booty stank.
And you reach out to Druski via DM?
Yes. I ain't nobody. He ain't going to respond to that shit. At least not right now.
No response yet?
Nah.
But if he just so happens to be watching this interview, that offer stands?
Yeah, for sure. Like, the money is there. All he has to do is just hit me up.
So what is the deal with Chicken and you?
Okay. So, oh man, so everybody that I know thinks I have an obsession. I call it an attachment. To some people, it's one and the same thing. All right. When I was growing up, we didn't have a lot of money, so I was eating a lot of bologna and noodles. I got sick of bologna and noodles. Now, to a typical person, you know, chicken and and maybe pork chops or something would be like a typical everyday meal, and then steak and lobster or something be like that. Would be like their extravagant food. Mine was bologna and noodles and onions, all right? I eat an onion sandwich, put some mustard on it, you know, I'm in there. But chicken was like my extravagant food. So whenever like my folks would cook up chicken, like maybe like once every Sunday if they didn't cook pork chops, or Saturday or something like that, hell, I'm trying to get about 4, 5, 6 pieces of chicken. And of course my dad will walk in and talk about some, hey, Junior, you better get some goddamn bread with that. I'm like, I don't want no damn bread. I just want some chicken, you know? And you know what I'm saying? Or get some sides or something. And I'm like, I don't want none of that. I just want some chicken, you know? But, you know, that also helped shape my body, you know? Like, people don't understand sometimes what you eat, you know what I'm saying, you shouldn't be eating. And I'm not going to say I have the healthiest diet. I really don't. I drink like a gallon of this a day. You know, I got a problem. But at the same time, like, I don't eat candy. I don't eat a lot of sweets. Chicken is my candy. You know what I'm saying? I eat chicken. I'll go to the gym, hoop, run on the treadmill, run to the gym, run it off, come back, eat some more chicken. You know what I'm saying? Eating chicken every day done became a habit. Fried wings or baked, baby, you know I gotta have it.
Well, when it comes to steak, when it comes to lobster, things that you mentioned in the analogy, what do you make of those food items from your perspective at this point?
I've had lobster once in my life. I've never been a super bougie nigga. I just can be bougie at times, but I would, if I ever go on a date or something, like whenever I go on dates or whatever, I never get chicken because of my eating habits and the way I eat. You know, I typically, you know what I'm saying, bite the chicken, I take the hot sauce, I pour the hot sauce on the chicken while it's in my mouth. And, you know, if you're in an extravagant, you know, people are going to look at you like, oh my God, look at this guy. Like, is he seriously eating like that? I don't want to hear that shit, man. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
What about steak?
Steak, I typically, whenever I go out and think bougie or whatever, if I'm trying to, you know, bust some cheeks down or whatever, I'll typically get steak. Steak and a little bit of shrimp, scrimps and things every now and then.
Okay, so I want to go back to one of my previous questions I asked you.
All right.
And I had asked you about the bully troll situation, and you gave an answer on that. So I guess my original question, you ever become a bully yourself?
No.
I want to implement that question here.
No, I became a shit talker, for sure, hands down. I will talk shit to the end of time, but I will always tell the person I'm either talking shit to or about, I'm like, listen, if I offend you, just say something. I'll stop, I'll correct what I'm saying or whatever. But typically nobody has a problem with it, because usually what I say is funny. I'm just cool like that. Cool like that. Dun, 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 dun. You know, shit like that.
When it came to the fights that you were involved in, 32 of them at that one particular school, you were never suspended?
Yes, I was suspended but never expelled.
Why never expelled?
Because I never started none of them.
But even though you never start, you still get suspended?
Yes.
What's the reasoning behind that?
Just for having an altercation in school.
Just defending yourself,
yep.
You can still get suspended?
Yes.
Did the suspensions take a toll on your grade? Not your grades like school grades, but that grade that you were in, you being absent because of the suspensions, did that affect you being in that grade at that particular time?
You mean if I got like kept back?
Yeah.
No. I had A's and B's. A's and B's. I was kind of smart, just a little dumb sometimes, but I had A's and B's.
What was the longest suspension?
My longest suspension actually came in high school. I got suspended for 10 days because it was this bus driver, this substitute bus driver. This is actually the last time I got suspended. It was like the third to last week of school. I'll never forget it. My longest suspension was I had a substitute bus driver that day, and he came late. So when I went to the office to ask where the bus was, I came back. Everybody in my neighborhood and everything was on the bus. So he had the door closed, and I was like, open it up and let me in. And he was just being a fucking dickhead and wouldn't let me in the damn door. And I'm like, bro, you're being an asshole. So I threw my book bag in the window, and I'm like, okay, now you got to let me in. And he just refused to let me in. Now, this isn't the everyday bus driver. This is a substitute for that day. So I'm knocking on the door, brr, 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 and he like, and I'm like, yo, just let me in, and he starts moving. So everybody on the bus hyping me up, Coop, get on the bus, Coop, get on the bus. You're gonna have to walk home. And I'm like, I ain't walking no damn 6 miles. Saying, I lived my Spider-Man dream and I jumped in that window.
But in that 32 fight year grade at that Magnair school, what was the longest you got suspended?
3 days.
These were out-of-school suspensions or in-school suspensions?
Both.
The 3 days, was that out of school or in school?
Both.
Did, when it came to the physical altercations that you endured, when it came to teasing, bullying, could any of these fights been avoided? Did they have to get physical? Could they have been prevented in some sort of manner looking back?
Yeah, if I was gonna look like a bitch. I mean, you could say I went out bad, but nobody could say I was a bitch, so-called, because if you hit me, I was gonna hit you back. I mean, it was just that simple, but you know, they could have hit me or whatever, and I could have just ran and told, and I would just look like I would have been sissified out. And like, even as I was younger, I didn't realize that my testosterone was up like that. Even though I would lose most of the fights because I was little as shit. You know, even then, you know, I knew not to just let nobody just do that. I let some people get away with it sometimes because honestly, it was a few people I was afraid of. But, excuse me, it was a few people I was afraid of, but, you know, I'd be like, bro, keep doing that, bro. I'm gonna hit you, da-da-da-da, and they would keep provoking it, poking the bear type thing, but everybody who was everybody, no, I didn't start no damn fights. I ain't want no trouble with nobody. I really just wanted to fit in. But that was never meant for me, and it definitely ain't meant for me now.
What was your parents' reaction to the teasing, bullying?
My dad was trying to teach me how to fight. I didn't win my first fight until my 9th fight. So my first 8 times, I took some ass whoopings. I ain't even gonna sit here and act like, you know what I'm saying, I was some big bad nigga, you know what I'm saying, just stumping with the big dogs. Nah, I was taking some ass whoopings.
When it came to teachers, when it came to personnel on that level, even higher than a teacher, I don't know if guidance counselors ever got involved or assistant principals.
Assistant principals got it. Everybody in the school knew me. And this is the thing, I was known for basketball then. Like in middle school, people knew me for playing basketball. I was really good. Even though I was little, I was still good. But I got in so many damn fights, I couldn't even play. Like, my record was just too damn long. Even though I didn't start none of them, the damn paperwork was still there. Did
they try to help you in this situation at all? Did they try to step in?
It was only so much they can do, honestly, but it was still kind of a shitty experience because they couldn't walk me to every class and, hey, don't pick on little Coop, don't pick on him. They couldn't do that. They got 300-400 students to, you know what I'm saying, administer. Like, they ain't got time to sit there and babysit me and make sure nobody fuck with me. I was on my own, you know what I'm saying.
Looking back at how your life played out and what you know now, could you have done anything different back then in that grade when all this happened? Could you have, was there something that could have been done?
Honestly, I've never thought about it. I was just like, I experienced it, it's done, let's move on. Like, I've never been the one to dwell on the past, like, what if, but if I just had to think off the fly top, I don't know, see, it was different. See, I got bunions and stuff, all right? So this is the reason why. See, like I told you earlier, like we didn't have money like that growing up. You know, we was trying to do some things, or at least my parents was trying to do some things, and it just wasn't working out. But basically, I had bunions. So I was 4'9" and 5'3" in middle school. I wore a size, 6th grade I wore a size 8, 7th grade I wore a size 9, 8th grade I wore a size 10 in men. Now remember, a size 10 on a 5'3" little man is gonna look pretty big. Especially when you're somebody like me when I was younger. And I like wearing Chuck Taylors. So I used to walk around like this. And people used to just got there, oh shit, you got the boats on your feet. You know, stuff like that. And I'm just like, I mean, now I would have came back with something like, nigga, you talking about boats on my feet, nigga, I'm walking on waters. And what you talking about? You know, but see, I didn't understand that back then, you know. I just would dwell on it.
Well, just curious, if you look back at yourself, would you have done anything different? Could you have done anything different?
Could I have done anything different? I mean, I could have stayed more quiet and more to myself, but, you know, I wouldn't have been myself, you know? And at the end of the day, me being myself beats any experience I can go through. You know what I'm saying? Because it doesn't matter. Because this is the thing. It's so crazy how things work out because the people from back then have reached out to me now about all kinds of shit. Different favors, or, oh my God, you done came out this way, like we didn't expect you this and that and that and that. So, you know, even though they hated me then, you know what I'm saying, I'm not hated as much now. Now people just see me and they're like, oh, he's funny, or he can sing, or, you know, things like that. But back then, they didn't see me as that. Back then, I was singing, but I wasn't taking it seriously. That's when the booty stank had all came to be. I was just goofing around. But shout out to DJ Omeezy, a 94.5. He wasn't 94.5 at the time, but he told me I could sing back then. And if I knew what I knew now, I would have pursued that then, and I probably wouldn't even went to that school. I probably would have been homeschooled. But only singing that I knew was what I heard, like Justin Bieber, fucking Taylor Swift, or I listened to that kind of shit when I was younger. Trey Songz, or that's what I heard. So I'm like, if I don't sound like them, I can't sing. But he told me I could sing when we was at the discount mall. And the first song I actually sung in front of somebody was Sex Ain't Better Than Love by Trey Songz. And I was in front of him and DJ Fresh. And they told me I could sing, and they was like, bro, if you want to do it, we'll do it. But I turned that opportunity down. But now look where I ended back up, right around in this circle, singing again.
Have you ever made amends with people that teased or bullied you that school grade, that school year?
Yeah, I don't hold no grudges. Honestly, man, when people come up to me now from then and then they be like, we used to tease you, I'd be like, hey, I'm glad you did. Because it gave me a stronger spirit for myself. Because now I know I done been through, you know what I'm saying, all that shit. So there's nothing that nobody can say that can offend me, you know what I'm saying? Unless it's just blatant disrespect and we got to fight. But you know what I'm saying? Like, nothing, somebody talking shit or somebody calling me names and this, can't nobody get on my nerves. I laugh about it, especially if it's funny. Or I'll just tell somebody, bro, you're not funny. Like, I'm not offended by it, it's just not funny. Or I just don't respond to it. But if it's funny, I'll laugh. Like, people clown me a lot and I'll just laugh because it was funny.
Sadly, though, there was a point when you tried to attempt to take your own life.
Yeah, that was definitely, yeah, man. I felt like I'd never have a place in the world. But see, I didn't understand that. You know what I'm saying? You make your own place in the world. But I was too young to understand that. And honestly, man, when it comes to mental health, bro, like that shit needs to be taken more serious, especially, you know what I'm saying, children when they're younger. Like, if you don't take nothing from this interview, bro, take this, bro. Like, you know, whether it's parents or counselors or principals or neighbors or whoever, if you have somebody who you think is not all right, they're probably not all right. Pressure them into telling you what's wrong and figure out how to help them. Because, you know what I'm saying, I could have easily ended my life and not be where I'm at now, on the verge of success, because of my mental health back then. But the main reason was because of my friend Robert, and I had both of my parents in the house. And I had an uncle who was always trying to support me, you know, growing up best way I could, the way my parents couldn't. So I had a decent support system behind the scenes. So when I went out into society, like fucking middle school, you know, I wasn't as inclined to fit in with anybody as I was before I had the support. You know what I'm saying? Or felt the support.
Were your parents, were professionals like teachers and things of that nature aware that you had attempted this?
No, they weren't. Like, I don't even think they know to this day. But, you know, that's in the past, though. Like, I think I brought it up to them once, but I don't know if they took it serious or not, honestly, which is a problem, you know what I'm saying, in society today. You know, some people don't take it serious when they not feeling like themselves or whatever, you know, because that could result in you ending your life. But maybe they didn't take it. So I don't remember how the conversation went, even if we had the conversation, but it's irrelevant now.
Have you ever seen, during that time, did you ever see a professional over it in regards to your mental health?
No, Robert. Robert was there. He was my friend. And he always told me, he said, it don't matter what they say, you're going to make it in basketball and they're going to be kissing your behind, this and that and that and that. And he was like, you're going to be a star, this and that and that and that. You know, because I was pretty good.
Looking back, well, let me rephrase my question. At this point, when it comes to your mental health, have you ever seen a professional over it?
No, I don't need to now. I'm well beyond that stage. Like I won't sound egotistic, but I see my self-worth above anybody that I interact with based on what I'm trying to achieve. You know, most of the people that surround me are at a stuck pace in life, and I'm trying to overcome that. You know what I'm saying? And surpass everybody and my peers and everything. So, you know, that's what I focus on. Like when it comes to mental health, honestly, I got slightly depressed, but it wasn't like to that level though. I was just kind of in my mind and my feelings. Excuse me. I was in my feelings a little bit right before that whole Druski live because just a whole bunch of set events just kept happening. Like my car broke down, somebody stole my identity, couldn't get my tax refund, couldn't get my damn, couldn't use one of my cars. I mean, it was just like so much shit just going on all at one time. And then when I went viral and people started joining on me, it actually helped my self-spirit. And I was like, you know what? That happened for a reason. Because if my car wouldn't have broke down when it did, I wouldn't have never been taking a shit that day after I ate some chicken and ate some hot sauce, and I wouldn't have never went on that live and gained a fan base after I was just thinking a week before, how am I gonna get a bigger fan base? So I'm at the point like everything happens for a reason, and obviously I wouldn't be here.
And the depression that you mentioned was self-diagnosed. You didn't see a professional that diagnosed you as depressed.
Nah, it was just me. It was just me.
Let's say a bully's watching this.
Okay.
Do you anything you would say to a bully watching this that teases, picks on, bullies people?
Don't pick on nobody who can't take it. Just don't do that, because two things are gonna happen. One, they're gonna inflict their pain on themselves, which you should feel guilty about because you caused it. Or one, they're gonna inflict their pain on you. You shouldn't want either one of those, honestly. But either way it goes, it ends up happening in one of those two ways. Don't do that. Like, and it ain't even no point. Like, I understand if y'all joking, if y'all got that kind of relationship, but if y'all don't, but don't do that, honestly. Like, it's no point. Like, all you're doing is hurting somebody's self-esteem, you know what I'm saying? That could either give you a job or help you 10, 20 years down the line. And he'll remember you, oh, you're the nigga or you're the motherfucker that picked on me. I can't give you a job. You'll have my whole fucking workspace corrupted, you know what I'm saying, based on your activity. Oh, I've changed, you know, I ain't even like that no more with suit and tie on and shit, you know what I'm saying? Can't even take you serious, dog, because, you know what I'm saying, you did that back then. That's why I never really just picked on nobody. You know, I always, you know, gained a friendship with the bridges that I've created.
And let's say somebody's watching this as a victim of teasing or bullying. What do you say to them?
The end of the light is coming. The end of the light is coming. I know people be saying don't give up and this and that and that and that, or just hold out. But don't think of it as holding out. Don't even think of it as that. Find something that you want to achieve and just focus on it. Once you find that one thing you're going to achieve, anything else that happens is not going to matter. All that's going to matter is what you're going to achieve. That's it. It's that simple. Because that's where your focus is, but you have to make sure you're focused on that. You can't be focused on everything else around you. Because everything else around you is like crabs in a barrel. They're going to bring you down as soon as you try to go back up. Don't worry about that shit, man. Focus on what it is you're trying to focus on and do that. Straight up.
What do you think Robert would think of where you're at this point?
He'd be proud. I definitely have some improving on myself. But I'm pretty sure he would be proud. You know, I'm glad that he was able to help my mental to help me get where I'm at now. You know. I'll never forget this one time. We was at my uncle's house, and I was never close with none of my cousins. I would go over there to the uncle's house who would help support me. He'd be the only reason I'd go over there. All my cousins would pick on me. They'd had 8 friends try and fight me. Like, it was so, like, my social life was shitty, growing up shitty. But my uncle was always there. But Robert came with me one day, And I remember, I'll never forget it. All of them had locked themselves in a room to congregate and talk and whatever, and I wanted to be in there. And they had asked Robert to go in there or whatever. They locked the door and left me outside by myself. It's like 7 of us there, 6 of us, and they left me outside by myself. So as I'm out there all alone, I will never forget Robert came out that door and said, "That's messed up that they lock you out. I'm going to stay out here with you." That's when I knew I had a real friend. And it seems insignificant to some people, but it's small things like that to help somebody with mental illness that counts.
Was he aware that you were doing music back then? Or
I
just
wasn't.
the basketball?
It was just basketball. I wasn't doing music officially until October 2020. You know, before that, I would just sing songs that I heard. And apparently I sounded good and didn't know it.
You think he'd be surprised with the music route?
Do I think he'd be surprised?
Yeah.
I don't know. See, because I don't know. Maybe, because he did see me doing basketball, so he would be. But you know what? No, he wouldn't. Because when I did that Booty Stank song, we did this little quote-unquote Facebook music group thing called Satisfaction. And I don't know, we was on some goofy-ass shit, whatever. And it was me, him, this dude named Amante, and I can't remember the 4th member, but we was quote-unquote this little group. It was this little fun group or whatever. So I don't think he'd be too surprised. Damn, my lips got chapped up. Hold up.
What do you think he would think that the basketball career ended?
You say, what do you think? What?
He would think that the basketball career ended.
Excuse me. I've been invited to pro leagues. I've been invited to overseas tryouts since I've been out to military. But I've told everybody I'm too crippled for that. I had full ankle reconstruction in the military. I was in a wheelchair, one of the most funnest time of my life. I was in a wheelchair, and like I said, they did surgery, and then they sent me home, along with some other shit. But